Welcome back to Bluebook. Okay, you're trying to make it on YouTube and you keep hearing about the algorithm. Yes, of course you know what the algorithm is, but like, what is it exactly? How does it actually work? You don't need to know that. Unless you're really trying to make a living as a creator, particularly on YouTube. Then you actually do want to know some key parts of what it is and how it works. Good news is, I've got a couple of tricks to help you cheat those metrics, at least a little bit, and boost your chances of success. By the way, I'm your man in the van, Brian Smith, and this is Algorithm Hacker. Let's break down how this is gonna go, because the algorithm changes literally every second of every day. We can only go over the most important parts of it any given time. By the way, that's really why you need to subscribe to this channel, because this new show, Algorithm Hacker, is actually designed to keep up with the algorithm constantly. I'm here every week helping you keep up with the changes and helping you growth hack your channel. Not just on YouTube, but other platforms too. All right, so first up, the basics. What is the algorithm? Well, Merriam-Webster defines algorithm as, I'm just kidding, who cares about that? All you need to know is that the algorithm is YouTube's brain. Seriously, it's the decision-making component of the whole platform. Information comes in, it processes it, assesses some probable outcomes, and then makes a choice. Simple as that. And you know how some parts of your brain have this definite ranking of something dumb, like top flavors of Mountain Dew. But hopefully the much more important parts of your brain are focused on keeping you alive. So for YouTube, these ultra important categories are what videos go on its homepage, suggested videos bar, search results, and finally, the videos directly delivered to viewers in the form of a notification. Let's put all of this under the umbrella of what's known as video delivery, meaning YouTube serves up this delicious little video to potential viewers. That's it. That's the algorithm's main job. Yes, it does other things, but this is just the basics we're going over, remember? And those by far are the most important parts. And now here's the weird thing. Comparing the algorithm to the brain makes it sound very smart, but just like human brains, the algorithm's also pretty dumb. Sure, you may be breathing air, but your brain doesn't know if it's, say, toxic carbon monoxide in it as well. You eat food, but that killer peanut allergy doesn't show up as soon as you lick the flavor. And the algorithm? It may be serving videos to viewers, but it has no idea what is inside those videos. Sure, it can kind of guess, partly by literally reading the captions of your video, checking if you're using a song that it already knows, and it can read titles, descriptions, and tags. All of that said, it actually can't really watch the video. Well, actually, it sort of can. It can detect things like guns or blood, but the important thing is it can't tell the quality of the content. All right, so YouTube delivers a plate of videos to you constantly that it can't actually see and can't even taste. But what it can do is read the ingredients that were listed on the menu. So it gives it to you and thinks, maybe this will be good. Okay, part two. You wanna know what the algorithm is literally. All right, I get it, I like you. You're technical, you're coming after my job. That's fine, join me. It's lonely here. The YouTube algorithm is a collection of complex equations that collects data on the YouTube user behavior. Anything that can be measured in numbers, it records. The equations interpret those metrics and spit out the likelihood of the average YouTube user performing a specific desired behavior. 99% of the time, that desired user behavior is just stay on YouTube. That's it. And while YouTube engineers have released white papers on some fancy exact equations that factor into the algorithm, the truth is, they don't want us to know most of it. It's like the recipe for Coke. It's their secret sauce, and they're not sharing it with us. But people like us here at Social Bluebook, we have enough data on video uploads and performance that we can take some pretty solid guesses as to how the algorithm works and try our best to reverse engineer it. And while the numbers and equations we get into are my favorite parts of life, you should be busy making videos, not doing math. So now let's break down the only parts of the algorithm that you actually need to know. Instead of overcomplicating it, let's just focus on the three main components. There's 1, input, 2, correlation, and 3, output. That's it. First, let's focus on input. Remember how I said the algorithm is kind of blind, kind of has no taste buds, kind of lives a miserable existence? Well, that's not totally true. I'm sure the algorithm can't watch the videos, but you know what it can watch? It can watch you.
Say what?
You watching this video right now. Oh God, that sounded way creepier than I meant it to. You're probably putting tape on your webcam right now, which, let's be honest, is probably a pretty good idea, but listen, at this point, you probably know that every website you visit is tracking you in some form or another.
Say what?
But when you buy something from an online store, they don't just know what you bought. They actually know what you didn't buy, the stuff you looked at, how long you stared at it. And that right there is why you start seeing the same product show up in ads all over the internet from the moment you search it. Me, myself, I'm about ready to buy lederhosen because I wanted to see a picture of it, and now it's in all my ads. They look comfortable. It's a good alternative to pants. Anyway, the input the algorithm gets from your video, it's not so vast. I mentioned it before, but it's what we call metadata. Things like the title, the description, the tags, technically the captions of the video. Then the algorithm checks in a different system if you're using copyrighted content, but only if that copyrighted content is already in their system. Oh, and it knows how long your video is. But that's basically all it knows about it. However, here's a quick list of what the algorithm records from the people watching the video. All that. Yeah, it's insane. And massive privacy issues aside, it's actually kind of a good thing if you want to be entertained by your YouTube content. Again, if that blind, tasteless waiter brings you delicious food and then keeps serving you better and better food customized by your exact taste buds, well then you'd probably marry that waiter, settle down, build a life with them. Moving on to the next component. After input, it's all data. It's time for correlation. You might be inclined to think of this as a cause and effect, and that's actually way too definitive. I prefer to describe this as trends. Not trending content trends, though that is decided by the algorithm too, but actually trends as in things that seem to be happening more and more. Imagine every video that's uploaded, every one of those metrics that's recorded about the video and the viewer, put each one on a line graph. Now stack them all on top of each other and you'll see some lines that trend the same way. This is how the algorithm makes guesses about the quality of the video, the taste of the food without tasting it, if you will. Again, the algorithm can't taste it itself. It can only see what the users do when they eat it. Do they shovel it down their gullet or do they spit it out and run to the bathroom? There's a lot you can guess about the food based on those actions. Now the micro trends or micro correlations, there's literally billions of ways you can look at them, especially if you add a third metric, fourth metric. But again, we don't need to understand all of them and how they trend together. We only need to know about the ones that the algorithm cares about the most. But finally, let's talk about the third component of the algorithm. Output. After the algorithm has received the data, input, checked for correlations, it then outputs a suggestion. And it's a pretty easy one. It's basically all about whether or not it wants to place a bet.
Okay.
And like bets, it can check, call, raise, or fold. So say you uploaded a video where all the metadata doesn't make any sense to YouTube. It's really funny inside joke between you and your friends. So the title is Watermelon Football. It's kind of all over the place. So YouTube has no idea what the video is really about and no one's watched it yet. So there's very little data to go on. It's gonna check, kind of passing on the bet until there's more information.
This son of all night, it check.
But then people start watching it. Lots more data comes in and YouTube now has correlations to study. Hey, everyone that watches this watermelon football video watches it 10 times. Okay, YouTube's gonna bet a little on that video. Not huge at first, since maybe all those watches come from my mom, thank you mom, but let's try a little action. Put this video in some random people's suggested videos bar. And hey, the video's doing kind of decent there too. Even strangers are rewatching it. Okay, so YouTube will output that decision to raise the bet. Let's put it in more places, send it to more people. But what if when they do that, it turns out, whoops, this video is actually about something that was only popular for 15 minutes on Thursday, and now it's Saturday and no one cares anymore, not even my mom. The inputs are now trending negative, and so the output that the algorithm offers will be bold.
Not worth it.
Let's not take any more losses than we have to. This video is no longer served to anybody, except maybe the person that literally searches the exact phrase watermelon football. And even then, other results that have better correlations might actually rank higher, even if they're not as good of a match. Input, correlation, output. The YouTube algorithm does millions of things, but all basically fall under one of those three umbrellas. Hopefully today, I've demystified the mighty algorithm into just a few pretty basic logical systems. Now that you understand it, you can exploit it. What do you think they call me the algorithm hacker? Was just some kind of cute name? We're like the kid in the giving tree, hacking away at YouTube for everything it's worth. All right, before we wrap up, let's test your understanding of everything we've covered here today with a little pop quiz. How does YouTube know which new videos are worth promoting and which ones aren't? How does a computer figure that out before there are any metrics available to analyze? Listen, while you think on that, I just want to tell you, we do live YouTube coaching on our Social Bluebook Discord. We can chat about your channel, go over what's working, what's not, and best of all, it's free advice directed right at you. Just follow that Discord link in the description for all that. I gotta admit, this one was kind of a trick question. YouTube actually does promote every single video that gets uploaded. Based on that initial data, it'll either continue showing people the video or give up on it. All right, guys, that's it for the inaugural episode of Algorithm Hacker. I've been Brian Smith. See you on the Discord.